Anthony Albanese just made history. Again. He became the first Aussie PM in over 20 years to win a second straight term. But instead of just soaking up the political win, Anthony took a moment to thank his fiancée, Jodie Haydon.
You have my heart, I love you, and I look forward to living our lives together.
Seriously, it doesn't get more romantic than that on election night. Their love story is one of those unexpected turns life throws your way. They met in 2020, about a year and a half after Albanese's divorce. He had been married for 19 years to an Australian former politician, Carmel Tebbit, and they share a 24-year-old son, Nathan.
Who's grown into a fine young man who I am just so proud of. Thank you.
Anthony's love story with Jodie began when she shouted out her support for his favorite footy team, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Albanese later joked that she had him at Up the Rabbitohs. She followed up with a message, they grabbed a beer, and the chemistry was instant.
Who said I love you first?
Same time.
Same time. It was definitely the same time. Yeah.
Before meeting Albanese, Jodie had been single for a while, and, in her own words, figured she and her friends would one day end up like the Golden Girls on the coast. But instead, she found herself traveling the world alongside the Prime Minister, attending events like the King's coronation and the White House State Dinner. What a plot twist. She's called it a fairy tale, and honestly, who can argue?
Not quite sure how I top this for date night with Jodie. At any time, anywhere in the future.
The couple got engaged on Valentine's Day in 2024. Yes, he went full romantic. Albanese helped design the ring and planned the whole thing, right down to the balcony proposal at the lodge. He described it as something that took a lot of planning and thought, and it clearly paid off.
It was a very happy moment.
Despite their high-profile lives, they insist it's not all politics and press conferences. In a candid interview, the couple joked about sharing a bathroom, Anthony's particular about keeping it tidy, and Jodie playfully called him out when her things start migrating across the sink. Totally relatable, right? But not everything's been smooth sailing. When they bought a $4.3 million home at Copacabana, some critics questioned the timing. Albanese didn't shy away from responding. He said it was about building a life with Jodie, not politics. He made it clear, what you don't do is move into the family home where Carmel and I raised Nathan. It was a new chapter, and they were writing it together.
It's wonderful that I found a partner who I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Jodie's also been more than just a supportive partner. She's been a visible presence on the campaign trail and even penned a heartfelt letter ahead of the 2025 election. She spoke directly to women voters, saying Anthony values equality, supports flexible work, and truly understands what families need. He walks the walk on equality in his professional life and at home, Jodie shared. You could tell this wasn't just campaign talk. It came from love. Anthony responded with just as much affection. On a radio show, he said, "She's just fantastic. She's really smart and always brings in a different perspective." He even gave her credit for pushing the campaign to go harder on women's issues, like working from home. Honestly, sounds like a team that's not only in sync, but genuinely has each other's backs.
We just want to live in the moment at this point.
And if you're wondering about their wedding plans, so far the only confirmed detail is that their dog, Toto, will be the ring bearer. Adorable, right? As for the wedding song, Jodie hinted that Bruce Springsteen might make the playlist. Now that's a ceremony we'd all love to see. Isn't it refreshing when politicians seem genuinely happy in their personal lives? Well, Anthony and Jodie aren't the only couple giving us heartwarming moments. Canada's new PM Mark Carney and his wife of over 30 years, Diana Fox Carney, are another perfect example.
And thank you for choosing my husband's vision of a positive, unified, and above all, a strong country.
Yep, these two go way back, all the way to their university days at Oxford. And here's a fun fact. They actually bonded over ice hockey. Diana was part of the Oxford University Ice Hockey Club, and so was Mark. Who knew power couples could form on the rink? Diana was born in the UK and is every bit as impressive as her husband. She studied philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford, then added a Master of Science in Agricultural Economics. And she didn't stop there. Diana also earned a Master of Arts in International Relations from the University of Pennsylvania. That's a serious academic lineup. Professionally, Diana is an economist who has focused much of her work on developing countries. She's held top roles at think tanks like Canada 2020 and the Institute for Public Policy Research, tackling issues like climate, energy, and inequality. While her current role hasn't been made public, she's got quite a legacy in the policy world. And she's even authored academic work on agricultural services and natural resources. So yes, brains definitely run in this family.
We're going to put in place measures that are going to build this country out of it, build this country strong.
Mark and Diana got married in 1994, and they've since raised 4 daughters together: Cleo, Tess, Amelia, and Sasha. And their eldest, Cleo, recently took center stage herself. She's now a freshman at Harvard, and she introduced her dad before he gave his victory speech in March 2025.
And who is better qualified to speak on his character than his daughter?
Cleo's speech was heartfelt and personal.
He is unflinchingly dedicated to what matters, focused and principled, funny and kind.
She wanted Canadians to really understand the man behind the politics. According to her, Mark is someone who's fully committed to the things that matter, who never backs down from hard work, and who always shows up, no matter how tough things get. Cleo also shared a sweet memory from growing up.
Every year for our birthdays, he burned us CDs, and somehow they were good. Sometimes now, when we don't know what to get him, we make him a playlist.
Oh, that's so adorable. As for Diana, she usually keeps a low profile, but she was front and center on election night. Dressed in a sleek red suit, she sat proudly in the front row next to Cleo as Mark gave his speech. Quiet strength. You love to see it. Mark Carney's long and happy marriage is something many admire, and hopefully it stays that way. His personal life seems rock solid, with a supportive wife by his side and 4 daughters cheering him on. It's a refreshing picture, especially when you think back to what happened with his predecessor, Justin Trudeau, whose story took a much more emotional turn. In early August 2023, Justin Trudeau shocked everyone with a surprising announcement on Instagram. He and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, were calling it quits. After 18 years of marriage and 3 kids together, the Canadian Prime Minister shared, "After many meaningful and difficult conversations, we have made the decision to separate."
A lot of Canadians will be asking questions of how this happened and why this happened in the coming days and weeks. And I certainly hope that this government is more forthcoming with answers than it has been in the past.
What made the news even more shocking was how out of the blue it seemed. Just days before, Justin had been spotted with his wedding ring firmly in place. And in June, Sophie even penned a sweet Father's Day tribute to him. Talk about mixed signals, right? Some people were caught completely off guard by the announcement, but others weren't so surprised. Despite the signs that their marriage was solid, there had also been whispers for years suggesting things weren't as perfect as they seemed.
We never went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy ride. No.
Justin's love life has been the subject of gossip for years, with one particularly persistent rumor involving Melanie Joly, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister. The two have worked closely together, sparking speculation about their relationship. While Joly has denied anything inappropriate, the rumors just won't die down. Things heated up again in July, when Justin reshuffled his cabinet, dismissing several ministers but leaving Joly untouched. Coincidence? Maybe, but people sure have their theories. Justin hasn't been one to shy away from talking about the challenges in his marriage. Back in 2014, during a CBC interview, the host read him a line from his memoir. "Our marriage isn't perfect, and we've had difficult ups and downs, yet Sophie remains my best friend, my partner, my love. We are honest with each other, even when it hurts." And Justin's reaction to hearing those words? Let's just say it's a moment worth revisiting.
It means we've had a marriage that's gone on for 10 years in which I have a very difficult, high-pressure job that everyone knows how challenging it is to balance family responsibilities with a job.
Naturally, the interviewer asked if honest was code for cheating, And Justin shut it down with a firm no.
This is a conversation about the kinds of challenges that any real marriage goes through, tremendous ups and downs. But as I say, we are deeply in love and committed to each other, and we continue to be.
But let's not forget Sophie has faced her share of rumors too. She's always been a bit cryptic when talking about their relationship. When asked about Justin's comment on infidelity, Sophie didn't exactly clear things up. Ask if whatever happened in our lives, I'm not saying it did or didn't, as if we would answer that, she said, leaving people scratching their heads. While Sophie and Justin are keeping tight-lipped about the specifics, Sophie recently opened up about the emotional toll of their separation during a podcast appearance with Katie Couric.
It hurts a lot, and it hurts deeply, because in a way, we have these two words in our language. You know, marriage is success, separation and divorce is failure. But life happens in between.
Well, it's hard not to feel for her. She's navigating a deeply personal heartbreak in front of the whole world. So, what's really behind the split? The Trudeaus aren't spilling the details, but political science professor Nelson Wiseman has a theory. He suggested to NPR that their separation in 2023 might have been tied more to politics than personal drama. According to him, Sophie may have given Justin an ultimatum not to run in the next election. But now, with Justin stepping down as the country's prime minister in January 2025, could this decision pave the way for reconciliation? If that's true, it certainly adds a fascinating new twist to the story, doesn't it?
True love is friendship and respect, and I absolutely still have that.